All right, so part 2 of the dash swap tutorial, we're going to be installing the HVAC box into the cab so we can get the dash and stuff back in and show exactly all that, and then also where we can mount the dash properly as well. A couple things I wanted to note is how identical these two boxes are. So you got these points right here, these bolt-on points, and then you got this like guide stud, and the guide stud's different location, but the bolt-on points I measured and they're like exactly on point. So let's go from here. It's gonna be hard to tell, but let's say roughly 6 inches. Let's say 6 inches. So you go from here. So it's very close. It's like a hair off, maybe like right on the money. It's very, very, very close. I assume it should still bolt up correctly in that location. There's a couple other things, like this is built different than this, so I'm probably gonna trim this around it. It'll still fit because this hole's wider technically than this little square, little rectangle looking piece. So we're gonna probably cut this off so it doesn't, wait, this can still fit in the same location, just not with this. And then the drain hole is different as well. It's like the location from the drain hole to the AC line is shorter on this 2016 box than on this 1999 box. It's a lot longer, so we're gonna have to drill a new location for this, so I can add that in probably around the blowhole area. These are exactly the same. These blowholes and this guide stud right here, exactly the same location as this one. That blowhole right there is the same location as that one. So a lot of it's gonna fit, a lot of it's gonna work. And I see also this is open and this one is not, but those two spots are like identical as well. Same with these. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy how close these two boxes are. We got the dash in here mocked up, kind of pushed up to see exactly what it looked like and where it'd be. We got that little guide set over there chopped off, but look at the both holes. That one lines up. This one actually does line up. It's just a screw instead of a nut. The heater core is a little low. I'm trying to push it up where it won't rub. AC box, we chopped this piece off around it so it'd fit, you know, like this. So we're gonna try to build some kind of plate or something that goes right here eventually, but it should fit pretty well. The other bolt hole right here, if I can get it down there. It's gonna line up too. That nut's gonna line up, and then you got the drain down there. If you could see it, I told y'all it wasn't gonna line up, but we're gonna have to drill a hole right there, and then be able to put that through there and probably seal the bottom half off. Another thing we had to do is cut out this plastic. We left the foam there, but cut this plastic out because it's kind of like molded to the old AC box, but lines up pretty well. This is where it mocks up to the outside air vent, where it can suck from outside instead of in the cab, and that still lines up too. Not too bad. So we got the HVAC box mounted and in place and sealed off. This is how it looks in the front. I'm gonna have to build a plate right here to clean this up, but this is basically your foam and stuff to seal it. That lines up, that lines up, that lined up. The two back there lined up right there and there. I put a cap, which what I did was put a big washer, nut and bolt, and I sealed it with gasket maker to block that one hole off, which is for like another guide stud like that. And down there, I have to block that hole off, and I drilled another hole right there for the drain tube, and then did the same thing on the bottom half where the old drain tube was, and just trimmed it like I did right there. Also went ahead and modified the stock original 99 pedal assembly for the brake switch, which on this is the 2016 one. It would go right here, technically, bolt here and go here. But the reason I did that because I thought this was going to work, which this bolts up to here, but it doesn't bolt up to my brake reservoir, which I could get the 14 one probably and use it, but I really didn't feel like doing all that work when I could have just I just fabbed up a little thing like I did in there. So this is actually wider than 99 brake reservoir. So this is what I did for the brake switch. As you can see, I just basically welded this little piece in here so it can slide on there, whenever you go and press it. I still gotta make sure it's adjusted right and go in and adjust if it ain't. But all I did was make a cut a little slit right there, and then drilled a hole right there, and then I got it to work. Like I said, I still gotta test it, but it moves. So I'm gonna go ahead and rip the carpet up, and we're gonna replace this body harness below the carpet, and we're gonna put the new body harness down. I'm not gonna film all that because it's a lot of boring stuff, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it's done and get all that done so we can get the dash back in here, mount it up, and then we can start working on the engine side of things after we get that all mounted back in place. All right, as you can see, I got the body harness all laid out on the floor. I got the amplifier right here. This is for the radio and all. Ran through the middle, so it's kind of hot underneath the center console. Usually there's a sub underneath here, but I guess the dealer bought it from Rob the sub, so it's missing that, so it leaves a perfect gap for the amplifier. And a couple of these modules, it's kind of hot underneath there. Usually they're laid up on the back wall of a crew cab. So yes, this is a crew cab harness, and it doesn't fit too bad. It fits pretty good up in here. I got it ran as best as I can. For now, I'm gonna go and put some like tie downs on it so it stays in place, and we got the little insulation to put over it after that, then the carpet. And then you got your like roof harness right here that runs up to the top of the roof, and then this is like your back door harness for your back windows and your speakers and all. So I do plan to order the other harness that connects to this so I can get the speakers and stuff working for the back sound, and then eventually use like the back window part as like a back glass or sunroof connection to get one of those two working if I add those two. Like add electronic sunroof or electronic back glass. So I mean like a Titan back glass, or I really want to do a Tundra back glass because I haven't seen anybody do that, and I like how the Tundra back glass slide all the way down, not just a little piece of it. Or maybe even do just electronic sliding back glass. I'm not sure yet. But also I did go ahead and install the dash. I had a buddy over here helping me install it, so because I mean he was here at the time and I needed help. This thing is like crazy ridiculous heavy to get in and out by myself, so he was here, had him help me throw it in real quick. So all I did was basically show you how the same points, throw it in there, and then do the same exact thing again. I decided what I'm gonna do with the holes right here. I'm gonna probably weld washers and make my own like bracket points for these two, and on the other side too, and that's what's gonna hold the dash in eventually. I also thought about cutting an old dash up and then welding that onto here, which I may actually still do that. I have a couple old dashes I can cut up and basically weld that bracket from there on here. Undecided exactly which way I want to do it. I want it to be clean for sure. Whichever way I do it, I want it to be clean. We still have to add the engine harness. That's going to be in the next video. We kind of pulled out all the standalone and stuff from the inside the cab because we'll be pulling it back off, but I'm gonna show you exactly what everything looks like working and powered on. Show you how that the airbox is working, and show you how that the radio and stuff's working as well. Steering controls work too. So we only got this one speaker right here working because we don't have the other two hooked up yet, and that one over there in that corner doesn't work for some reason. And you heard the stack because the antenna is not hooked up on this thing. I have to get the right antenna to run and go outside and work, but the Bluetooth does work. I just can't show you how because I am filming with my phone currently. So but everything works so far, so good. When I hooked up the Bose module right here, that's whenever the radio started working. Before it did not. It's still connected, it just wouldn't play. So that's the Bose amplifier, that's what it is. When I hooked up the Bose amplifier right here, that's when everything started working like it should. So if you do the swap, that's a big key component. So next we'll be getting the center console back in, along with all the carpet and stuff back in and organized and laid out, and I'll show you all that. And that's pretty much gonna be a wrap for this video after that point. So I got the carpet in the center console and all the harness and everything back in it. I put the amplifier, the Bose amplifier, underneath the center console because there's a big gap that was missing up here, so I did do that. And I also got an update on the side right here, like how I'm gonna mount it. I made this video, well, the previous parts you seen was probably a couple weeks ago. I've been sick and then working and having all kinds of stuff to do, but I did get an idea. So these are the old factory dash bracket mounts, and I'm just gonna probably chop this out the way and just weld it in place of the other dash mount and just have it where it lines up. I think this is the one that goes to that side. Yeah, this one goes on that side, I think. Let me see. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about doing is welding this in place so it'll just bolt right up to the factory location, and just modifying the dash, more or less the cab, like I was thinking about. Just make it a lot more simpler, I guess you can say, and where it'll look a lot better too, and it's more, like, I guess, customized. Instead of just modifying the cab, in case I ever want to change this up one day, I don't have to remodify the cab again and do all that junk. So I just modify the dash, but I'm gonna do that later on my own whenever I get time to be able to, you know, actually do that. I just kind of want to show you how exactly, because yeah, I've been asking. But I have another issue with this truck and with the engine and trans that's in it, and I'll be going over all that in the next video on that, because it's a lot, and it's definitely good for the next video. So basically why this truck isn't running and driving exactly how it is. And it's obviously common sense, but big ordeal I figured out with this, especially transmission part of this engine and trans relating to the dash and all the harness and stuff. So be a lookout for the next video on exactly that. I'm pretty sure there's like no videos on this subject on YouTube, and I've been looking and looking and looking. I found a couple threads on it, but no videos on it on YouTube. So definitely check it out when it drops, because it's something good to know for these LT swaps for sure. Also, I found a step side bed, got it from a buddy of mine. It has minimal cracks, like down here, which is, there's one right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. It's really hard to find them and not cracked, and so I'm gonna have to repair that before I paint it or wrap it or whatever I'm gonna do. But we did go back step side, thankfully. Like I told you before, I regret switching it before, but I am missing a bumper. I do need a bumper or a roll pan. If anybody knows where one's at for cheap, let me know, or maybe work a deal out. You can ship it to me or whatever. So that's gonna be a wrap for the part 2 of the dash install. I didn't really get to show much this time because between a lot of different things happened, but we're getting there. It's back all installed, and really I'm just trying to get it to the point where I can drive it and then I can clean every little thing up that I need to clean up. Like this headlight, this lower blinker headlight right here. Thing's been broke for I don't know how long, and these are brand new headlights. I even got to drive the truck. But appreciate everybody for watching and following the build and liking the build. It's really enjoyable for me to see everyone liking this build, and I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers from staying subscribed.